Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of NEWSTART Sundays. For this episode, we will be looking at letting thy food be thy medicine. So let's begin. Firstly, we need to identify the modern definition of medicine. So we have medicine as a practice or a science, as well as a substance. It is the practice of making a diagnosis, treatment, as well as prevention of diseases. And it is also a drug or a substance or preparation that is used to treat or prevent diseases. And of course, there are multiple reasons for the development of diseases. It could be because of a violation of the health laws, it could be genetic, and it could also be spiritual. Yes, there are persons who can be spiritually diseased. And one advantage of using your daily portions as medicine is that there are no side effects. Here we have the Oxford definition of what a side effect is. It is a secondary, typically undesirable effect of a drug or medical treatment. All of these side effects can precipitate other illnesses, and then the physician gives you more drugs on top of that to control the effect, and it's just an ongoing cycle. So really and truly, some drugs do way more harm than good. And of course, we know the 8 doctors, NEWSTART, right? And according to the pen of inspiration, it says, let those who are sick do all in their power by correct practicing eating, drinking, and dressing, and by taking judicious exercise to secure the recovery of health. So here we have it, the intended medicine. God has provided everything that we need to live a full and healthy life in Christ. After violating the laws, person just wants a quick fix. They don't have the time to develop proper habits such as exercising and carefully watching what is placed in their bodies, but this pill with 15 side effects seems way more plausible. Okay, so now we're going to look at food. And according to Britannica.com, food is a substance consisting essentially of protein, carbohydrate, fat, and other nutrients used in the body of an organism to sustain growth and vital processes and to furnish energy. So I was thinking, does that mean that a large variety of the items sold in the supermarket is not food? Because everything that we eat should provide nutritional value to our bodies so that our bodies can heal and have vigor. And not every single item in the supermarket is nutritional. It may be cheap, but not nutritional at all. So the snacks and the sugary drinks and just about anything that does not provide adequate nutrition for our body should not even pass our lips. Now we're going to look at the purposes of eating. And there are 2 purposes of eating. One is for the world and one should be for us as Christians. And the first one is to satisfy appetite. So our lower powers or lower mental powers are desire, passion, and appetite. And a major one is appetite, right? And Satan is using the appetite, convincing people that they must do anything to satisfy the taste and animalizing them to make them have these devious thoughts. And this should not be so. We need to guard the avenues of our minds so that God is in complete control of our mental powers. Now, what should be the purpose of eating as Christians? For the ultimate glory of God. Again, the pen of inspiration says, the children of God cannot glorify Him with sickly bodies or dwarfed minds. Those who indulge in any species of intemperance, either in eating or drinking, waste their physical energies and weaken moral power. And this one is quite self-explanatory. Our body is a temple, and so we should treat it as such. Now we're going to look at 2 reasons for reform. And this is why someone who once had unhealthy practices must have that urgency to make a change for the ultimate glory of God. The living organism is God's property. It belongs to Him by creation and by redemption. And by a misuse of any of our powers, we rob God of the honor due to Him. Also, A failure to care for the living machinery is an insult to the Creator. There are divinely appointed rules which, if observed, will keep human beings from disease and premature death. So that's the first reason. There are many, but I'm only going to go through these two. We are not our own. Therefore, we should not be functioning as we please. All these processed foods that has little to no benefit to the host. We need to have maximum strength to carry the gospel to a dying world. So it is kind of stealing. If you die premature death due to unhealthy habits, we are basically stealing that 5 or that 10 years that we would have given to God in service. And when we intentionally destroy the body that is given to us, we're insulting the Creator who spent the time and the effort in artistically designing us in His image. So there needs to be that extra effort in caring for our bodies. Some persons actually prefer to remain in ignorance, but again, here is what the pen of inspiration says. They, which is the human family, seem indifferent in regard to the matter of health and work perseveringly to tear themselves to pieces, and when broken down and debilitated in body and mind, send for the doctor and drug themselves to death. Not only are we ignorant in terms of eating healthy, but also in the medication that we are placing into our bodies. We indulge in appetite, and once we are broken down, we first seek the physician to prescribe the medication to us. So what does the last few words say? And drug themselves to death. Let us not drug ourselves to death. Let thy food be thy medicine.